Do you have a desire to write a book, but it seems like having time to write is your greatest enemy? It just seems like life is too busy right now to write a book. You have so much going on and you want to be able to give your writing time undivided attention. Between work, family, and everyday responsibilities, you keep saying, I'll start when things calm down. But when does life actually calm down? Listen, I get it. Writing is a commitment just like everything else, but it can actually fit into your busy schedule. Ready to write your first book and make an impact? Do you wish you could organize your book ideas without feeling overwhelmed and actually find the time to write and finish your book? Hey, I'm Donna Cherie, a book writing coach and author. Welcome to Book Writing Made Simple. Inside this podcast, I'll teach you how to get a clear vision for your book idea, get organized, keep it simple, and develop a writing plan so you can finally get your book out into the world. Grab a notebook and pen with your favorite cup of tea. Hey, aspiring author. Welcome back to another episode of Book Writing Made Simple. I'm your host, Donna Cherie, and thanks for joining me today. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Last week, we were able to surpass 5,000 downloads here on the show. And the show is truly growing at an exponential rate. And I'm so grateful to God. And it just lets me know that book writing is so needed, that so many people have a desire to write a book. And I am so glad that you've been tuning into this show to get the tools and the strategies that you need to write and finish your first book so that you can make a kingdom impact. So thanks again for all of you who have followed the show, if you've subscribed, if you have joined our Facebook community, if you have shared episodes with someone, just thank you so much. And for those of you who might just be tuning in for the first time, you can also join in and be a part of this beautiful community, this writers community, by subscribing to the show or even joining our Facebook group so that you can learn about book writing and to get that encouragement that you need to keep going on your book writing journey. And before we get started with today's episode, I also just want to let you know that I see you. I know you've been carrying this book in your heart for so long. You've been telling people for years, I'm writing a book. But deep down, you wonder if you'll ever finish. Not because you don't want to, but because it feels overwhelming, confusing, daunting, and maybe even a little lonely. Maybe you started and stopped writing your book more times than you can actually count, but you still have this desire to write your book. I know you desperately want to write that book and publish it, not just for yourself, but because you know this is something God placed on the inside of your heart and you want to make a kingdom impact. I want you to know that you don't have to do this alone. If this is stirring something inside of you, if you're sitting there thinking, tuning in with your headphones or listening on speaker, I am done with fear. I'm done with procrastination. I refuse to keep this book locked inside of me any longer. Then this is your moment. God has placed this book inside of you for a reason. Today is the day for you to move forward, aspiring author. Go right now to donnacherie.com/coaching so we can take this next step together. You don't have to figure this out alone. Let's bring your book vision to life together. That's at donnacherie.com/coaching. You ever wonder how some people manage to work full-time jobs, raise kids, serve in ministry, own a business, help others, and still write books? It seems like they just have this so much time in a day that they're able to do all the things and have such great capacity. It's not that they have extra hours in the day. It's that they've learned how to manage their time optimally to complete the task God has placed in their hearts. So today, I want to help you uncover the secret to writing your book even when life is busy. When I first started writing Untarnished, I had a lot on my plate. I was working full time, 40 hours a week, juggling family life, church commitments, and everything in between. Writing a book seemed like a steep uphill to climb, and I didn't understand how I would really get there, how I would figure it out. But then I realized something. Life wasn't going to slow down for me to write my book. I had to make space for it. And life isn't going to slow down for you to write your book either. So for me, I looked at my schedule and asked myself, what can I scale back? I started small, 2 hours every Saturday morning. I grabbed my tea, turned on my writing playlist, and told myself, this time is sacred and I have to write this book. And let me tell you, those small windows of time turned into a consistent writing rhythm that helped me finish writing my manuscript within 6 months. That's right, just 6 months. The moment I treated my book like a priority instead of an option, everything changed. Therefore, today I want to remind you that you do have enough time. Now, don't get mad at me for saying that because we all have enough time. The real question is, what are you doing with the time that you already have? Everyone gets 24 hours in a day, but what separates those who finish from those who keep dreaming, or should I say procrastinating, is prioritization. There's a quote by Stephen Covey that says, don't prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities. I want you to write that down. Don't prioritize your schedule, schedule your priorities. That's the key to making time for writing. Now, let's pause and make this practical because on the show, I do like to provide practical tips that you can implement into your life and into your book writing process that will help you along. I want to share a few journaling prompts with you to help you reflect and get clarity. If this is an area that you struggle with, just really getting your schedule together and prioritizing time to write your book. So you can even pause this episode to write down the journal prompts that I'm going to be sharing in just a minute and answer them honestly. Just really reflect and assess so that you can come up with a plan and get out of this space of life is too busy. I'll never have time to write a book, to let me prioritize writing my book in my busy schedule because it is so possible and it is so doable. So the first question that I want to ask you is, what can you scale back so that you can make your book a priority? And then write down what it is. Look at your calendar, look at your planner, whatever it is that you use to manage your time, and identify what can you scale back so that you can make your book a priority. The second journal prompt that I want you to address is, what are some time wasters in your overly busy schedule that you can eliminate? What are those time wasters for you? Where do you find yourself just like after the fact thinking about, dang, I just wasted a whole hour doing nothing, or I just wasted 2 hours. Like, what just happened? Write that down. Okay, the third journal prompt that I have for you today is, how can I protect my writing time this week and treat it like a non-negotiable appointment? So what is that? How can you protect your writing time this week so that it is a non-negotiable appointment that you'll show up for and not just keep putting it to the back burner or pushing it back another week or saying I'll do it next month? No, let's protect our writing time and get to it. The great thing about prioritization is that it helps you see what truly matters. So when you stop operating from the place of prioritizing your schedule to scheduling your priorities, this allows you to focus on what's truly important to you. Scheduling your priorities allows you to identify your most important goals, your values, and your commitments. And let me add your book writing time, and then protect that time in your calendar and be sure to show up. You got to show up and make time for that assignment that God has called you to, that you've had buried for years, for decades, but it will not leave you alone. It's time to make that a priority. And you can start by doing that even before this year ends. You don't have to wait till next year to get started, but you can start today, right now. You really can. When you make writing a scheduled priority, it stops being just another task on your to-do list, and it becomes part of your weekly rhythm, not from a place of urgency, or not from a place of like hurry or feeling anxious or overwhelmed, but from a place of intentional importance. So let me go over those journal prompts with you once again so that if you missed it the first time, you can write them down. So the 3 journaling prompts that will help you reflect and get clarity about why you can't find time in your busy schedule is: what can you scale back so that you can make your book a priority? What are some time wasters in your overly busy schedule that you can eliminate? And then, how can I protect my writing time this week and treat it like a non-negotiable appointment? And truly, that's the secret, friend. Prioritization. When you feel like life is just too busy, too full to write a book, it's about priorities and setting it as a priority. It's not about finding time, it's about making room for what God called you to do. Remember this: small, consistent steps with intention always leads to big results over time. If you've been struggling to stay consistent or just don't know where to start, I want to help you build a plan that actually fits your busy life. You can book a one-on-one Create a Solid Book Plan coaching call with me, and let's customize a plan that helps you stay organized, focused, and on track to finish your first book. You can head on over to donnacherie.com/coaching. Again, that's donnacherie.com/coaching and book your session today. Listen, again, you don't need more time. You need to prioritize with a simple, solid book plan. So let me help you create that. And I pray that this episode has blessed you and that you will take some time to journal over these prompts. And when you have your responses, and make sure that you pray over those things, that you reflect on it so that you can begin to make your book, the book God has called you to write, a priority. Until next time, ciao. Thanks for tuning in. I hope today's episode inspired you to take that next step to write your book. Remember, small steps lead to big results. If this podcast has blessed you in some way, be sure to leave a written review on Apple Podcasts. Your support means the world to me, and it helps others to find the show. Also, be sure to pass on the inspiration by sharing this episode with a friend who could benefit from this message. God bless you, sis, and never, ever give up.